I put out a video a few months ago about the pros and cons of living in Falcon, Colorado, just off the northeast side of Colorado Springs, and got such great feedback and engagement. People wanted me to put another video out with some more thoughts. So that's what this video is, and we're going to go on some more things that I don't think, some of which I didn't touch base on the last one, and just some additional thoughts and benefits of living in Falcon, which is where I live, so I'm intimately familiar. Here's some more thoughts. Let's go. I connect with people just like you every day to help them discover where to live and invest in real estate and sell property for top dollar when the time is just right for them. My name is Leif Jacobson. I'm an ex-cop turned realtor, also known as Safe Leif. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe so you're first to learn about Colorado real estate. My contact information is below. I'm excited to hear from you. Reach out by text, call, or email after this video, and I'd love to connect with you or book a calendar event, and I'll reach out to you, whatever works best. So today we're recovering some additional points as far as Falcon, Colorado, and the gem that Falcon, Colorado is. And I'll tell you why. Is because I'm all about win-win situations, and I'm all about getting my needs met in all different ways without having some of the negatives. And one of the negatives that I perceive, and part of the reason that I live out here, is because I don't want to live in town. I like being out of town a little bit. I like the space. I like the ambiance. But Falcon isn't too far. So it's just a few minutes outside Colorado Springs, really. I hear people have said to me for years, oh, you're way out in Falcon. You know, it's like 7 minutes out Woodman if you're coming from the intersection of Powers and Woodman Road. So it's a few minutes outside of Colorado Springs, but it has a totally different flavor and ambiance than Colorado Springs. And it has all the amenities offered because, again, you're only a few minutes further out. So you have, world-class hospitals, from movie theaters to restaurants, all at your fingertips without being kind of in the hustle and bustle of being in town. It's kind of a plains feel in Falcon, just northeast of Colorado Springs. So it's light and bright and high, but it feels a little differently when you're just outside of Colorado Springs and not kind of steeped inside the city. So those are some of the reasons that I like living in Falcon, Colorado, not being in the city and not being too far out. So Falcon is an unincorporated part of El Paso County, just outside of city limits. But the word is, don't quote me on this, but Colorado Springs is slated to annex the town of Falcon within a few years. So it may become part of the city at some point. Can't confirm or deny that officially at this point, but that's the word anyway. Falcon was a railroad hub in the early 20th century, and then ranchers settled in and started to do their thing for many, many decades. And then some of those ranches were bought out, like Meridian Ranch is one of the huge ranches out there that was bought out by developers in the 90s, the late 1990s, and started building thousands and thousands of homes. So that's kind of where the growth started in 1990s, coming into early 2000s, and growth is still happening like crazy in Falcon, Colorado. So there's thousands more homes going in. There are incredible amenities and neighborhoods that we'll talk about in this video as some of the advantages, and that's where we'll go from here. The two ways to get here in Falcon, Colorado, from downtown Colorado as well as the north part of Colorado. If you're in northern Colorado Springs, you're basically coming directly east on Woodman Road. Takes you just a few minutes right out to Falcon and kind of the nucleus of Falcon. And there's a highway that comes from downtown Colorado Springs, come on Platte Avenue, and there's a Highway 24. Platte becomes Highway 24 that goes diagonally east-northeast out of Colorado Springs and then ends up in Falcon as well. So it's kind of a triangle there, from downtown and the highway that comes out, or Woodman Road that comes out to the north. So those are the main ways to access Falcon. Again, it's about 14 miles northeast of downtown Colorado and 5 or 6 miles east of the northern part of Colorado, Colorado Springs, depending on where you're coming from. Part of the reason there's amazing growth in Falcon, Colorado, unlike places where I came from many, many years ago, like Seattle, where you're landlocked by, mountains and water and waterways and lakes and the Puget Sound. There's basically nothing landlocking Colorado Springs, which is part of the reason for the amazing growth in addition to the incredible sunshine. We get more sunshine here than Southern California. It's not as warm, but we have more days of sun than Southern California, literally. So the weather is incredible, even though it's a long, cold winter. But in general, the days of sunshine, when it's sunny outside every day, it doesn't feel as cold. With 5 military bases in Colorado Springs, Falcon is actually really popular for military families, especially because of Highway 24 that we were talking about that takes you directly south or southwest from here to connect right down with Peterson, Fort Carson, right on the south side of the city. So it's a great straight shot without having to bisect or come right through downtown. You hit 24, Highway 24, and it takes you right northeast, right out to Falcon. So it's a great commute. It takes you a few more minutes, but again, you're at high speeds. A commute when you're sitting in stop and go traffic, to me, is different than, I don't mind a 20 or 25 minute drive when I'm moving along and at a good clip and coming from work. Planned Communities Public Utility District, PUDs, in Falcon are outstanding in my opinion. They've done a really good and intentional job in designing neighborhoods that are super family friendly. That's one more reason that it's really military friendly here. A lot of military families love living in Falcon rather than being in town. So there's great in general as far as trails and parks and amenities and recreation. Recreation centers are outstanding. A lot of neighborhoods, you have to live in the neighborhood. You got to be a resident there in order to use the recreation centers. And Meridian Ranch is a sizable community out there. That's where I live. You have to be a member there unless you're directly a member of a guest. You cannot use the rec center unless you're a resident there. But in Woodman Hills, this is another little gem that a lot of people don't know. You actually don't have to be a resident and you don't have to be an explicit guest of a member in order to use their recreation facilities. You have to pay a few dollars in order to use those, but the public can come in from anywhere and use their facilities. And they have 2 different rec centers. A lot of people don't know that either. There's one rec center with an outdoor pool and some cool facilities on the west side of Meridian Road, and then one on the east side of Meridian Road that has a brand new indoor basketball court, well, brand new in the last couple years, and they have an outdoor pool as well, or an indoor pool there. And along with lots of military families living in Falcon, Colorado, you have plenty of turnaround because of PCSing and duty stations as far as military going in and out all the time. So there's generally a fair amount of houses that are available regardless of what the market is doing. Proportionately, there's quite a few houses for sale and lots of opportunity in Falcon as far as buying and selling real estate. Generally, the prices range from $400,000 up to $1.5 million. You get up some sizable houses on the north side of Meridian Ranch or kind of pushing the northwest corner of Falcon, Colorado, where you get toward the Black Forest. You can get into some higher end homes, but you can find a really nice house for $450,000, $550,000 generally in Falcon, Colorado. We'll go into some of the pros of living in Falcon, Colorado. In general, because it's kind of a microcosm in the county, it's not incorporated as far as a city. It's not even, technically, it's not a town yet that I know of. Maybe it is. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. Is that there's pretty tight-knit community. People who hang out. There are lots of community events. There's cool stuff going on, and the neighborhoods again do a very intentional job of having community events as well, like trunk or treating, in wintertime, as well as Christmas events and things like that. So it's a pretty tight-knit community just outside of Colorado Springs. There are neighborhoods in Falcon, Colorado that have HOAs or homeowners associations, and neighborhoods that have no homeowners association. And that's a tough pros and cons right there because some people love HOAs and some people absolutely hate them. And you're usually in one of 2 camps. There's not so many people that are middle of the road. So some people have had bad experiences with HOAs and despise them, and other people love them because the heart of an HOA and what should be the intent of an HOA is to keep a neighborhood looking nice. HOAs are a good thing when they're sensible and kind of follow the heart or the spirit of an HOA. But if they go too overboard and you're getting all of a sudden you're getting a letter because your garbage cans are a half a foot off from where they should be placed on the road, they can go overboard. But I don't know of any HOAs that go too badly that route in Falcon. Most are fairly reasonable. But there's also sizable neighborhoods with large lots, 1 or 2 acre lots that are sizable lots and people can do all sorts of stuff on them. And they actually voted. They started out with an HOA, but Woodman Hills voted years ago to kill their HOA. So there's both. If you want a super high-end or strict HOA, there's that. And if you want a neighborhood that has a little more property and a little more availability with no HOA, there's that as well. And while there are planned communities and neighborhoods in Falcon, you're not far from serious acreage being directly out to the east. It's basically an unlimited room as far as growth. And if you're a person who likes, livestock, animals, horses, cattle, that type of thing, and you're looking for acreage, 30, 35 acre minimum parcels are not uncommon. Not everybody can live on a legitimate ranch with livestock and be 18 minutes from Costco and restaurants and the amenities. That's part of the advantage. There's deer and antelope and coyotes and lots of wildlife actually out in the area. So that's kind of fun. As you're biking or walking around, you see a little more wildlife versus what you'd see downtown. Again, being not too far from downtown and the amenities, but you have the advantage of seeing some wildlife around. So that's kind of fun. But it's different than being on the west side of Colorado Springs. If you're in Rock Rimmon or an area like that, where you're literally right at the base of the Rocky Mountains, you actually have black bears and mountain lions come down on a daily basis who are going through people's trash, and they're just looking for food, and they smell good stuff at the houses down there. But you don't have that so much on the east side of Colorado Springs. One more advantage or pro of being in Falcon, Colorado is that if you need to head up north to Denver or to DIA, which is a common trip, Denver International Airport, for a lot of people, you can avoid town and just head straight north from Falcon and then connect. So you kind of avoid basically bisecting the city as far as going from here. But if you don't need to go to Denver International Airport, I'm a huge proponent of Colorado Springs Airport, which is fabulous to fly out of and into, especially when you're flying out, because man, I've never seen more than about 10 people in line at this Colorado Springs Airport at any one moment. So versus, hundreds or thousands at Denver International Airport. And Southwest Airlines just opened a hub in Colorado Springs just a few years ago, and so they go many different Southwest locations and connecting through Denver, so you can fly Southwest in and out of Colorado Springs. It's super slick. I would highly recommend it. District 49 is a fabulous school district. That's where my kids go, and we have fabulous interaction with District 49. Some of the schools there are Bennett Ranch Elementary School, Falcon Elementary School of Technology, Falcon Middle School, Falcon High School. I've got 2 girls there. Liberty Tree Academy, I've got another couple kids there, which is a K through 12 charter school. Meridian Ranch Elementary School, Patriot High School Alternative Education Campus, and Pikes Peak School of Expeditionary Learning, which is preschool through 8th grade, as well as Woodman Hills Elementary School. Goal High School, which has a location. It's the largest high school as an entity in all of Colorado, and they have many locations throughout Denver, as well as southern toward Colorado Springs here. So they have a location. They do lots of online stuff. They have art and STEM programs and do hybrid learning instruction as well. So it's super flexible way to learn. And because Falcon is a smaller community, it's really only a couple few miles across in general. None of those schools are very far, no matter where you live in Falcon in general, none of those schools are very far from your location. So our kids actually walk and bike to school all the time. So that's really fun for us. There are over 20 churches in Falcon, Colorado as well, in all sorts of different denominations and different types of beliefs, as well as non-denominational churches. All right, we're going to move on to some of the cons of living in Colorado Springs, which again, these are all perceptual. Different, one con might be somebody else's pro. But in general, some of the cons of living in Falcon, Colorado are limited shopping and dining options. There's no question. So you basically have Walmart and Safeway, which have been here for many years, and there's a brand new King Soopers as of this video. So there's some more shopping as far as grocery shopping options, but limited compared to what you'll see in town. You pretty much have about 3 options in Falcon. For dining options, you have about 14 fast food chains. So there's all the standard ones in Falcon in general, from Kentucky Fried Chicken to McDonald's to Subway, all the kind of the standard fast food chains. And there are 8 local independently owned restaurants as well. So love supporting local flavor and mom and pop, family restaurants. Really enjoy that as well. And there's food trucks periodically and at different locations. There's a couple breweries in Falcon that they don't serve food, they just serve brew. And so they have food trucks that frequent, like daily, they'll have food. So you can get food there, but they don't have to have food surface themselves as a restaurant. They just have food trucks pull right up front, and it's kind of a neat win-win there. Until the past couple of years, there was actually only 2 different gas stations in all of Falcon. They've added 2 over the last couple of years, and there's a 5th coming pretty soon, which is a Circle K, which will be the northernmost gas station in Falcon, Colorado, just at the intersection of Meridian and Stapleton. Another con with Falcon, because it is a smaller community, you have some more limited options as far as entertainment and recreation opportunities. So there's football, soccer, basketball, volleyball, t-ball, on all those available, but just on a smaller scale, of course, versus being in town. There's multiple martial arts facilities out here, so that is a thing, and Peak Gymnastics is in Falcon as well. So you still have some of those amenities, but not as many as being in town, of course. But again, while you don't have all the same amenities that you have in town, you're only minutes away from town. So you get the ambiance without being in the middle of town and having those amenities pretty close. Another con, just again by population, is you have limited gyms and fitness centers in general compared to being in town. So some limited options there. There is one yoga studio out in Falcon, and you have a couple recreation centers like Woodman Hills, like I just mentioned, that you can use on a one-off basis. You don't even have to have a membership there, but you're a little limited as far as those resources. So there's some additional thoughts, some pros and cons, and general information regarding living in Falcon, Colorado, northeast side of Colorado Springs. Hopefully this has been helpful as well. If I missed a bunch of other stuff that you know about, or you'd like to see another video with some other points, I would love to hear from you. Reach out by text, call, or email after the video, and I'll catch you on the next one.